Okay, so the Future Society Zenith Summon Cyber banner will be releasing in less than 24 hours. So we're going to talk about the characters more in depth and also talk about the banner units and to see if this banner is worth summoning on. Short answer, well, the three characters are really good, and I'd say it is worth summoning, but we'll talk about why you should probably skip it anyway. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you do, leave a like. If you're new to the channel, you've been here for a while, subscribe. I want to get to 300 subscribers. And with all that said, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so first things first, just very quickly, I want to talk about the Future Society point event here. If we come down here and you do complete it, well, here are the bonus characters. Obviously, the 3 new units and the mid-month units banner are here as well. Some pretty older units, and as you can see here, you do get a mine special move source. This special move source is just pretty much, increase your Transcendence level by 1. So be sure to, complete the point event so you can get that. Those are very rare and important. And I just wanted to talk about that real quick. So now we can talk about the characters themselves. And here we have the old Kira. As you can see here, he has 2 soul traits. Not many units have 2 soul traits. It's him, the 1000-Year Blood War Yachiru, and I think there may be another unit, the 2024 version of 1000-Year Blood War Ichigo. I believe he also has 2 strong attacks as well. But other than that, besides those 3, the only units that really have 2 soul traits are like resurrected units. So a unit having 2 soul traits is really good. As you can see, he has some pretty decent innate skills. He does have poise, and he does support your team by recovering stamina in between stages. The enemies defeated gimmick is also still really good. Frenzy +2 is great. Frenzy +2 is just pretty much the norm nowadays. Have it 20%. Devastation 60% and also weakened defense is really good. Your soul bomb will be hitting harder. Pair that alongside the status element spiritual pressure boost and the damage to weaken enemies that it has. So his soul bomb will be doing a decent amount of damage. And also, you can never forget about the increased status element chance and pair that alongside with the status element spiritual pressure boost. Yeah, this unit is definitely just a powerhouse. And he is also immune to the weakened status element as well. And sharpshooter, that's pretty good as well. So overall, this Okira definitely is a top tier unit. And so here up next we have the Orihime. She is a guild quest unit. As you can see, she's a, let's see, we come back up here. She is a ranged normal attack unit, so she will be usable in the ranged Soul Weeper week in guild quests. She takes 21% less damage. Not a lot of units have this soul trait. She also dodges Soul Reaper attack. She does have long stride. She does have the booster and enhancer skill on her SA2, so that's great. Just really good NAD unit to have. Her bruiser is at 60%, so her NAD strings will be doing a lot. She does have poise, which is good. Paralysis duration minus 100%, so she's immune to that. She does get flurry +2 in guild quest, but outside of it, it is flurry +1, so she is mainly a guild quest unit. And as you can see here, she does have the increased killer effect skills in guild quest. So yeah, if you're someone that needs a ranged NAD unit in Soul Reaper week for the guild quest, this is definitely a great pickup to have. She is very good there. And then we have the Notoria. He's a heart unit with the Quincy Killer. He has the Super Mind Link Slot Potions +5 skill. So this is just overall just with his soul trait. He's a great unit. You can put this unit on any art unit that you want and you'll get the Super Mind Link Slot Potions. Guard Break, Havoc, great to have. Frenzy +2, damage to lacerated enemies, 60%, great as well. He's immune to all status elements, so you don't have to worry about any status elements in IT, so you're free to move around in that. My favorite combination of skills here, I probably won't ever get tired of saying it, but this is just really great to have. And he also has the Mind Link Slot Potions +5, so that's good as well. And yeah, overall, he's just I'd say he's a good farming unit for IT. He doesn't have the increased droplet drop +30%, so he won't be, the best for epic race. But if you want to save an epic race just to farm those, just regular pots, he can be great there. And so that was just a quick in-depth review of the characters. As for the banner units themselves, we can go over them very, very quickly. I don't want to spend too much time on these units. Alright, and so for this part, what I like to do is I like to compare the newer units that have the same attribute and, you know, killer just to the older units. And as you can see here, power Quincy units, there are not a lot of those. We have the Christmas or the seasonal Yorichi. She's well, obviously a power Quincy killer unit. She has the Technique Droplet Drop Soul Trait 30%. She has a boost on her SA2, which isn't bad. She has Medic and she heals with her SA2, so that's really good. That's a good support skill. She does have the Enhancer and Booster skill on there as well, so not that bad. So I say this Yorichi is more of a epic raid unit. She has the Technique Link Slot Potions and an increased Droplet Drop as well. She heals, and having the Booster Enhancer skill is great as well. So yeah, this is mainly a epic raid unit, I would say. And up next, we do have the 1000-year Blood War Yamamoto for the 7th anniversary that we got that I mentioned earlier. But yeah, that old Kira is definitely beating out this Yamamoto. I mean, now this Yamamoto, I'd say for his damage wise, his Soul Bomb will probably hit harder because he does have Bombardment, burning to damage to his status elements 40%, weakened defense. You can put weakened defense on his unit to stack the one he has built into his kit, so his Soul Bomb will be doing more damage. But besides Soul Bomb damage, yeah, this Yamamoto is still definitely a great unit. Also, this Yamamoto does have 2 killers, while the old Kira definitely has 1. So yeah, this Yamamoto is still very, very good. Is he better than the old Kira? I really can't say until I like play with the old Kira and just kind of like do a versus video with him and the Yamamoto to see who's better. And I guess that's it for the most notable units. I mean, you do have these 2 units here, but she's a premium unit and this is a very, very old unit. But overall, yeah, not many power Quincy killer units, so that old Kira will be a good addition. Okay, so for the Orihime, she is a ranged Soul Reaper killer unit that's built for guild quests, and as you can see, there is basically nothing to work with here. I mean, you do have this Uryu here, but he's kind of a farming unit. As you can see here, he has the increased super pot skills, and then he also does have the increased droplet drop skill, so he's good for epic raids, and also IT as well, because he does have guard break and pierces the enemy iron skin. You can increase your strong tag damage by 20. And he also has a base full stamina damage boost of 20%, which is good as well. And he does heal in between stages as well. So a great support unit for IT and is good in epic raids as well. But he's coming up on 2 years old here. And that's pretty much it, really. So there's really no NAD unit for the ranged Soul Reaper weekend guild quest, so having that Orihime will definitely help you out, because I mean, as you can see, there's nothing here. So yeah, that Orihime is a great pickup as well. Alright, so the Notoria, he is a Heart Quincy killer unit, and as you can see here, we literally, before his banner release, only have 3 of those type units. So he is a Soul Trait of damage to weak enemies plus 35%. He reads all affiliation dodges, so you can use him against enemies that dodge. He inflicts his status elements every 5 seconds. He does have Havoc 20%. Frenzy is only at +1. Increased Heart Attribute Strong Tag Damage 20%. Heart Attribute Human Damage to status element affected enemy 40%. And Guard Break. I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it, really. These are like just some premium units, so really nothing major here. So that Notoria is a just a unit that we definitely can use for, like, I guess this attribute that has the Quincy killer. Okay, so I want to very quickly go over the banner units here, so I'll probably move a bit fast. This Mashiro, she came out earlier this year. I believe it was for the, I can't remember. She was an end of month banner unit. I think it was maybe for January, not too sure, I can't remember. But power unit with the human killer Soul Trait is a super Technique Link Slot Potions +5, so put her on any power unit, then you can just pretty much use whatever power unit in IT that you want. But overall, she is a melee unit with paralysis on all of her abilities. She is immune to the paralysis status element, which is great. She does have guard break, devastation 40%. She also does have the technique link slot potions +5, so you will be getting a boost to super and regular pots. Havoc 20%, Frenzy is at +2, which is great, can never go wrong with that. Increased status elements chance, which is good. Increase power attributes, so Reaper damage to status element affected enemies 40% and damage to paralyzed enemies 40%. So really, she's a good, IT unit that you can use or link to a character. Either way, she'll be, she's really good to have. So this Riruka also came out with that Mashiro. She is a heart hollow killer unit with a full stamina damage boost of 30% for her soul trait. Ranged unit, drained on all of her strong attacks. She has the enemies defeated gimmick. 10 enemies defeated, 20% berserker, 25 full stamina damage boost of 20%. 50 enemies increase strong attack damage 20%. Not bad. She recovers stamina in between stages, and she also does have Siphoner, which is good. And she is immune to fire resistance, Havoc 20%, Frenzy +2. She does have weakened defense, Long Stride, Guard Break, and these status element spiritual pressure boost. So overall, a pretty decent unit. She has a lot of healing built into her kit, so you'll be able to take full advantage of those full stamina damage boost abilities, and also having the status element spiritual pressure boost skill. Alright, so this swimsuit Byakuya, he was a mid-month banner unit. He is a heart unit with the Squad 0 killer. Soul trait is the heart link slot potions +5. He's a ranged unit with weakening on his strong attacks, except for his SA2. He heals and puts up a barrier. He does have the medic skill, so that heal will be healing you for a lot more, and at full stamina only increases strong attack damage 40%, which will help increase his damage quite a bit, but only at full stamina. He does increases your mind attribute strong attack damage by 20%, which is pretty good. Increase the heart droplet drop 30%. Frenzy is at +1. Defibrillator 5 seconds. Multi-barrier +2, and also guard break. So I'd say this is a pretty decent epic raid unit for, I guess, whenever we get a Squad 0 epic raid boss, or if we have one already. I can't think of who it is. But it doesn't really have to be, against Squad 0. He'll just be a great epic raid unit overall. Alright, so this Rangeku, she was the last year's swimsuit unit. She is a heart unit with the Hollow Killer. I did do a showcase for this unit, so be sure to check that out if you want to know more about this character. Her soul trait is the strong attack recharge time -12%. You'll see that on, just most SP units. No status elements on her abilities. She's immune to freeze. She recovers stamina. Her berserker and devastation are at 60%. Is a farming unit with the basic farming skills here. Super mind link slot potions and mind link slot potions +5. Increase droplet drop 30%. Havoc 20%. Frenzy is only at +1. She does have the increased damage to enemies not affected by an element 100%. Guard break and the Pierce Iron Skin skill. So she's just a good farming unit that will help you out in epic raids and IT as well. And if you need coins, she increases the drop for that as well. So overall, a great farming unit. Up next, we have this Sun, who is over a year old now. She is a heart captain killer unit with the mind link slot potions +5 soul trait. Melee unit would burn on all of her abilities except for her SA3. It is a charged healing strong attack. So the more you charge that SA3, the more healing you will do. She also does have the medic skill, so it will heal for quite a bit. Full stamina only, increase strong attack damage, which will help out her damage. Has a base of full stamina damage boost of 20%, which is great. Havoc 20%, defibrillator +2 seconds, increased melee damage in some co-op missions, and guard break plus hit enemies. So I'd say, she's kind of a decent epic raid unit. She doesn't have the increased droplet drop skill, but, she'll do a decent amount of damage and heal other teammates in epic raids. So yeah, a good support unit for epic raids. Now we have the Cacao Society Grimjo. He's a technique arranger unit with the typical soul trait you'll see on most SP units. Melee unit, weakening on all of his abilities. He has a charged SA3. He's immune to the weakened status element. He deals 20% damage to weakened enemies. Devastation 40%. He has the increased link slot potion skills +5 for both. Havoc 20%, Frenzy +2, Defibrillator +5 seconds. Increased damage to enemies afflicted with an element 20% for technique or rankers, and Sprinter +1. So yeah, a 2-year-old unit that's pretty decent in IT still. I mean, you can never go wrong with a unit having Frenzy +2 and a charged SA3. And also, when you do afflict status elements, you will be doing 20% more damage. And it is currently a ranker enemies in the IT, so yeah, if you have this unit, be sure to use them. Alright, so these last two units are some relatively old units. They were here before I started playing Bleach Brave Souls, but this Shuhei, he is a technique hollow killer unit with a normal attack, 20% damage soul trait, ranged with slow on all of his abilities. He dodges hollow damage, he's immune to freeze, and he inflicts shackler every 5 seconds. 50% berserker, flurry +1. Increase normal attack damage for technique Soul Reapers, 20%. Increased damage in some quests, and he also increases damage in guild quests. Damage to slowed enemies 40%, Sprinter +1, and poise. Yeah, not much for an older unit. And here's another old unit, Desert Society Ichigo, technique, a ranker heal unit, soul trait, damage to taken -16%. I mean, this unit, you'll probably really only level him up just to get the orbs from him. Yeah, he does have a heal on his SA2 range unit, burning on all of his attacks. Flurry +1, medic, and yeah, that's pretty much it. You know, just a really old unit. Okay, so we went over the 3 new units in depth a little bit more. We compared them to some of the other characters in their attribute that have the same killer, and there's not a lot of units that have the same attribute and killer, especially for the Hime and the Notoria. There's only like maybe a handful of units for the Notoria, and there is no like range nag unit for the Soul Reaper weekend guild quest, so she's a great pickup. The old Kira and the Yamamoto will definitely be some of the best units for a Quincy killer. Can't wait to see which one is better. We also went over the banner units. I mean, there's some good units in there, a couple of units that are just not really worth it. Let's see, we also talked about the point event. There is a mind special move source that you can get from completing the point event, so make sure you complete it. Those are very rare and very important to have. And so yeah, overall, should you summon on the banner? As good as the characters are, no, you shouldn't really summon, because this is also a 50 step up banner. Well, 51 if you want to include that last step that you can just repeat over and over again. But a 51 step up banner a couple months before the anniversary is just not really it for me. And yeah, don't get me wrong, these units are definitely best in SWAT units, but it's just really not worth it with the anniversary right around the corner. And so yeah, in the last video that I did about this banner, I ranked the banner a 4.5 out of 5. I'm gonna just give it like a straight 4 out of 5, just give it that 0.5. The 51 step up banner is just leaving a, just not really worth it to me. And so yeah, that's going to be it for this one. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and thank you for watching. As usual, until next time.